There we go. We are now live. And thank you, everybody, for jumping in the stream. I'm Keith Miser, a.k.a. CigarPop.
I'm Cigars Daily, reviewed by Lance. I'm Lance. Welcome.
And today we have
Sorry, guys.
I was going to say, today we have a very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Hyman Lizega from Grouchy Monkey Cigars. Hello, greetings.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here. I'm going to adjust that light a little bit.
All righty. And while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and give a real quick shout out to Spartan Cigar Lounge in Elton, Maryland, for allowing us to broadcast from their location. There we go. All right, I'm going to bring up Hyman's information here. There we go. And Hyman, you're a little bit in the dark. I don't know if you can brighten up your light a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to work on that right now. That might be better. There we go.
All righty.
There we go.
All right, well, we want to welcome you on to our podcast, Keeping Them Lit, guys. As I said, it's being broadcast out of Elton, Maryland at the Spartan Cigar Lounge. And tonight's guest is Hyman from Grouchy Monkey Cigars. And if you don't mind, Hyman, go ahead and give us a little bit of background about you.
All right, so I'm the owner of Grouchy Monkey Cigars. We've been in business about a year and 4 months. We have multiple blends, as many people know, but the business is a small business. Our cigars are made at the MGE factory in Nicaragua, small factory, and the blends are by Miguel Pinto, who's pretty well known in the industry. He makes El Mago, he makes Superior Standard, and several other brands. Boutique Nicaraguan cigars. We've had some great success, and people are loving the cigars. And it's just a joy to be in the tobacco business.
I have to say, I enjoyed every one of yours so far. And tonight, I'm enjoying this distinguished tape. First time with a Candela.
Excellent. I think you'll love that cigar. It's got tobacco from Condega, Jalapa, and Ometepe in it, and obviously a Candela wrapper. And people don't know what they do to create a Candela wrapper. Basically, when they pick the leaves and they put them in the barns for 50 days or whatever their process is, with a Candela wrapper, instead of putting them in the barns to age, they heat it right away. And what it does is it maintains the chlorophyll that's in the leaf and creates a very distinct flavor. It's a niche cigar. I mean, some people love them, some people, hate them. But ours is quite good. It's not really overly grassy or anything like that.
Just a touch, but I do get some sweetness and some creaminess out of it. I'm really enjoying it.
Excellent.
What are y'all enjoying tonight?
Go ahead, Keith.
Oh, I haven't chosen mine yet. Go ahead.
Okay.
Many choices.
Yeah, I'm going with the basically going with the Shipwreck Monkey now. I'm actually double-fisted here. A real, maybe I need tobacco rehab. I don't know. But finishing up a Lancero that was from the factory that I get from Miguel, basically to try different blends and such. Then I'm going to do the Shipwreck, which is great. This is Jalapa Condega Esteli for filler, and the binder is Criollo Desflorado. And what that means really is where they clip the flowers off the top of the plants, and it creates more energy to the plant and producing, more robust leaves. And our wrapper is finished up with basically the lighter part is Habano and the darker part is Oscuro. So it's quite a cigar with people are reviewing it and loving it. And, it speaks for itself. Construction and burn are outstanding on it.
I have reviewed that cigar, and it is amazing. It is amazing, I have to say.
You have
like I said before,
thanks.
I was never really a barber pole person. As soon as I tried that one, I was like, Yeah, I need to rethink my
Yeah.
stance on bolts. And matter of fact, so for tonight, I've got, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see, I got 4 different choices. I think I'm going to end up going with the Maduro. That's why each one of us are smoking something different from Grouchy Monkey. You can explain, what we're experiencing out of each one.
All right, I'm going to work on that light real quick. See if I can power this off, power it back on. Trying to get the white. There we go. I think that's better. All right, my apologies.
So which one did you choose, Keith? You chose the Maduro.
There's the Maduro.
Yes, indeed.
San Andreas wrapper, filler from Condega Jalapa, and Esteli as well.
So Hyman, please tell me how you come up with this name, Grouchy Monkey. I am dying to know.
So, real funny story. It comes from my fiance and I had a rescue dog that had been with us for 9 years, and she basically was about 40 pounds, all black, and we used to call her Monkey Butt because her butt looked like a monkey. And then she had a bitchy resting face, though she was a really nice dog. But it came up that way, and she became like the Grouchy Monkey. But I just wanted something different. You're in a traditional Latin American industry with, all super fancy. And I wanted to do something that's completely different, that's not forgettable, and, get in the business, create great cigars at good prices.
Well, you've absolutely done that. And I love the name Grouchy. It just stands out.
Well, thank you.
So
I'm the monkey man now. So
Monkey, okay, we'll
Yeah.
call you the Monkey Man.
as you will.
So how did you get into the business? What made you say, hey, I want to put my cigars, I want to make my cigars and get them out there for the market? What inspired you?
So basically I was inspired. By trade, my profession is a pilot for private jets. And I've traveled all over the place for years, and I am not one who likes to sit in a hotel room the whole time. So what I do is I go to cigar lounges, and I've been doing that for years. And I think this whole thing started in wanting to be in the cigar business, maybe in opening a lounge, like Keith's interest are. And it became, though, it wasn't realistic with the amount of time that I spend on the road. You're going to open a business, you need to be there, 24/7.
Yes.
And I wound up basically just designing one blend, and that was the Jungle Land. That was our launch cigar, which is the one that Keith is going to light up. And started with the one blend and just made a decision, got an artist to do the logo, and the lady nailed it on the first shot, and took off from there, made a decision, and haven't stopped since.
I'm glad for that. I am. So, is there anybody
Do a
kind of
quick
inspired?
interruption here. I want to say hi to Randy, saying good evening, gentlemen. I don't know if you see that on your screen.
Oh, okay. I see it. I see it on the bottom there.
All right.
Awesome.
Sorry for the interruption.
No. That's all right. I welcome all the guests. I hope they have plenty of questions for us. We got the man behind the myth.
Yeah.
So
go ahead, Lance. I'm sorry.
What is your favorite Grouchy Monkey cigar, or do you even have one?
For me, it does. I do. It goes back to the Jungle Land Habano for me, but my taste buds change a lot. And with someone who smokes so many cigars all day, I have different desires at different times of the day. And sometimes I'm like craving Connecticut. The change of taste, like morning with coffee. I have a basic thing I do, even if I have to fly at 6 a.m, I still get up early enough, and I basically do some motivational readings. I do a little praying. I have my coffee, my cigar, and I start the day that way. But Connecticut goes really good with coffee, or Connecticut as well. That Candela, the Distinguished Ave, goes very good with coffee as well. A good pairing. And But to be honest with you, now I'm trying, interested in doing a Lancero and a Churchill in the future, and
yeah.
tried some of Miguel's blends in the Lancero. That's actually what was finishing up now with this one before I start the shipwreck. But it changes the flavor in the way, when you smoke the cigar. So, yeah, I would say number one, the Habano Jungle Land, number two, the Connecticut, and then the Shipwreck for me, because the Shipwreck came in with a desire to bring something more complex. And I've said to people before, when I started this and designed Jungle Land, I honestly had to design it for myself. And I wanted something that was going to be consistent the whole way through and also had to have perfect draw. That was my big pet peeve in visiting different factories all over the place to find someone who would make our blends for us. Um, and that we wound up with Miguel. No regrets ever. The nicest and most admirable guy you could ever meet, So,
That's awesome. I tell you what, that Habano you have, oh man, it hits me good. I love the nice little spice on the retro hell, because I'm a spice pepper kind of guy. Being from Louisiana,
uh-huh.
that just gets me going right there.
Right. And I found it to be a little bit of spice because everyone has a different palate, and people taste things differently. But I wanted something that was not overbearing and overly complex. Like I smoke a Padron Anniversary, and it's a medium to full, let's say, right? But I don't find it to be overly complex. You know what you're getting the whole way through on the cigar. The burn is consistent throughout. Your ash is good, and that was the desire to start with a cigar that was that way. That if I had to smoke them all myself and I didn't sell any, well, it was designed for me. But we got very lucky, and it was very good.
I think we got very lucky.
Yeah. Well, thank
The
you.
customers, man, I enjoy these. Keith, how's that Maduro going, buddy?
Doing good. Tasting tasty.
Mhm.
Tasting tasty. Tasty as always. Like I said before, I have not come across a single one of his blends that I didn't like and the putting down, walking away from, like I have with other legacy as well as boutique cigars. This is one I can see smoking all the way to the nub.
And I find it so interesting. One of the most interesting parts about this industry is all the art and science involved with it. And take, for instance, this blend, right? How the flavor profile changes when you put a Habano wrapper on it, when you put a San Andreas Maduro, and when you put a Connecticut wrapper on it. And yet it still maintains the same, filler and binder so that your flavoring is the same. But the flavor does change with the wrapper. So.
That, and also I'll tell you what, you could take, for example, take this cigar. You change the vitola of it, make it maybe a 48 or even a 6. Same blend, and it changes the taste completely.
Yeah, almost definitely. That's why I'm playing around with doing a Lancero or Longdale, something like that. It changes the flavor, and it's an interesting smoke. I don't know that I would smoke Lanceros all the time, but the beauty of cigar smoking and being in this community, so to speak, is that there's so many different varieties to try. And I don't think anyone likes to smoke one cigar type anyways. And that's all I smoke. That's a rarity, I would say.
I've only had a couple of Lanceros, but I've noticed, even in smaller vitolas, like a 50, for example, you'll get more of that wrapper taste in there. And I love it. But there's some cigars I prefer to 54 to 56,
Yeah.
Depends on the blend. And this one right here, you hit a home run with this one.
Yeah, that's a interesting tobacco. And I think it's, people think is a lot of, this goes back to the barber pole too, but when it comes to the Candela wrapper, people think it's really just a gimmick kind of cigar, like to bring it to the market kind of thing. And this cigar was really blended well, as is, our barber pole. People like barber pole. That's just another gimmick to draw the eyes to the box in the humidor. And this barber pole is not just a gimmick cigar. This was really designed to be a great blend.
Keith, if you would tell them that story that you gave to Lee Mack about the barber pole. That tickles me every time.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to refresh me on that.
Oh, remember you told me just the other day that you wanted a guy, a friend of yours, he does not like barber poles, and you said, "Man, you've got to try this."
Yeah, Lee Mack is not known for liking barber poles, and I told him that I've got a barber pole for him to try, and I told him he's going to be surprised. And even when he did his review, he actually started off with admitting that he's not a barber pole person. He doesn't really like barber poles, and as soon as he got into Hyman's barber pole, the Shipwreck Monkey, he started singing a different tune. Matter of fact, he got to the point where he actually said that he's looking at this one as one of his top cigars of the year.
And he does an amazing review. He's very thorough and very knowledgeable. So he breaks down the intricacies of different blends. If you ever get the chance to watch him, very, very knowledgeable. And he's a straightforward guy. He's going to tell it like it is. So I really enjoyed seeing that review. It has been reviewed by Boston Jimmy, also of Stogie Press, and got a 92 rating with him. And another, like I said, this industry, man, is the community is the best part about it. Getting to meet people. And I was fortunate enough to meet Jimmy in the Orlando Boutique Cigar Festival that we did recently, which was a blast.
That's something I would love to go. Just go to some of these cigar shows. That'd be a dream of mine to do that one day. Meet some of these people and what's coming out next.
I think you need to make that a point too. The Orlando one was the first one I actually did. We've since did the Miami Cigar Festival as well, which was terrific. But the Orlando was our first, and we didn't know, what to expect, and it really was just a great time. It's just all cigar lovers in one place. What could be better? So.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see here. So I'm looking at some of my notes, and I hate to admit that I got to look at some notes, but from what I'm looking at here is that your Shipwreck Monkey comes in a 6x54, and now you have New Funky Monkey in Connecticut and Maduro, not just the Habano, which are 6x60s.
Correct. We modified the blend slightly, and I got to tell you, it was one of our best sellers to begin with in the Habano 6x60, and I wanted to offer it in Connecticut and Maduro as well. So Miguel did some magic. His work, speaks for itself, but the blend actually got better. I had smoked one of the older ones, and then when I stocked up on my newer ones with the Connecticut and the Maduro, the flavor profile was just so much better, just with a minor tweak to it. And it was actually wonderful in Connecticut. I'm not a big Maduro guy myself, but I always smoke them because I do it for educational purposes, shall we say. But yeah, it's not my like Vitola personally, a 6x60. I find it a little big, but we sell tons of them and people love them, so we did it right. Well,
that's the beauty about cigar lovers. There's a cigar out there for everybody, every Vitola blend. And if you can't find it with Grouchy Monkey, you ain't searched hard enough.
Yeah. And, the best cigar is the one that you're enjoying and you like. And, and this price thing is out of control with $48 cigars. And, I had to try to see myself. And I tried an Opus X, and I was in California when I did. So I obviously paid even more for it, to see what the hype was about it. And my thought after the cigar was that it's a great cigar, no question about it. Was it worth $48? No. I could have bought 3 really great premium cigars for the price of that cigar. And then the flip side, I think I paid like $50 for, what was it, Keith? Merrifield? And I will say that was even better than the Opus X. I would have said that, for once in a while, $50, but yeah, it's still $50. Why should cigars be available to only rich people? It doesn't,
Exactly.
This is for everybody.
Rich person's arena when it comes to that. And like I've told my kids, even when they get me gifts, which are typically cigars these days, don't go buy me a $50, $100, $150 cigar, no matter what. I would love to be able to enjoy it, but the problem is I may enjoy it too much. And,
right. I'd rather have a bag full
with
Right.
root beer pockets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
At the same time, for $100, I can give myself 10 cigars that I'll enjoy and be able to stretch out over a period of time. And to me, that's the biggest thing, is being able to kick back, stretch out, relax, and enjoy myself.
And we want to stay in the $10 range. That's why I really want to, I'm doing this building this brand, not to make money now or tomorrow or next week. I'm really building this for 5 to 10 years from now. And we want to stay around the $10 range, $10 to $14 at the most. And I have $8 cigars too, So basically keep it there and not really have to worry about moving forward, trying to get into every lounge. I would rather keep it me just having our business direct to consumer, maybe be in some lounges and cigar clubs and things like that. That's not, most big cigar companies would say that's foolish. That you want to build a multi-million-dollar corporation and have a bunch of employees and everything like that. I don't know. That's what I want to do. I don't, I'm self-funded. I don't have any investors, and I would prefer to just build it, and someone loves the cigars or interested in trying them, they can just order them and they'll have them in a couple days. So with some goodies, of course, all the time.
So Hyman, one of our watchers, viewers, is just, his name is Dan O. Stubby. He says, Hyman, I think Lance wants a sales job with Grouchy Monkey.
You can have a sales job with Grouchy Monkey.
I would smoke up all the profit.
Yeah. And I do. Maybe that's why I got in the business, so I don't have to. And I still buy cigars all the time. I have plenty of cigars to choose from, but I like to see what other people are doing. I learn from smoking other cigars. I desire, like most cigar smokers, to try different blends and different cigars. It's just a natural thing, I think. So,
yes, you can't just pigeonhole yourself into one cigar or one brand or one blend. I've learned through friends, we share cigars, we ship each other cigars and try different stuff, whether it be legacy cigars or boutique cigars. They got me out of my wheelhouse, and man, I have found some nice gems.
And there really is some amazing stuff out there. I mean, take a look at what's going on with boutique cigar companies like you do, Lance, quite often. There's some amazing blends out there, and I love it. I subscribe to somebody else's cigar club monthly, you know what I mean? Because I want to try their blends, and I have tried some and really loved it. I'm liking some Dominican tobacco right now. That's something I'd like to do in the future.
Yes. Dominican and Nicaraguan, that's probably my two favorite off the top of my head.
Well, a lot of the Nicaraguan companies use Ecuadorian Habano. So, it's limitless to what you can try out there. Honduran tobacco. I mean, I even smoked a cigar, which was fantastic. It's a little bizarre when you light it up, but the Upsetter, which has tobacco from Jamaica in it, and it kind of smells like a 70-year-old hippie woman, that sandalwood. I mean, it really does when you light it up. But when you get past that and you get into the cigar, it actually is a very good cigar. It has very good flavor and a great burn. So there's so much out there that, that's limitless.
So let me ask you, does your significant other, does she smoke also?
No, she just drives me crazy. That's it.
Oh, let me I got my wife into trying cigars, and now, like last night, for example, we went to a little gathering, and she looked at me before we left. She goes, "Are you bringing me some cigars?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. I sure will." I love it. We enjoy them together, whether it be in a cup of coffee or an adult beverage, but it's something we can enjoy together. And I wish more women would do that.
Yeah, and they do. Women are a huge market right now, and I love seeing it. And they're, the thing is that they're not smoking, little flavored cigars. They're smoking, really nice and some pretty powerful cigars too. But yeah, so. And my fiance Layla, she doesn't, she knows the business because she helps me with the business, but she's not a cigar smoker. She has smoked occasionally, but she goes to the, you know, flavored, light bodied cigars.
And that's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running into a problem though with my youngest son. He's almost 30 years old, almost. He'd never smoked before. All of a sudden now I catch him in my humidor.
Ah,
I said, boy, you're gonna call. I've already got a bad habit. I can't support yours too.
mm-hmm.
Well, I
He could
started
get
trying
so
to get
expensive.
Lance into another habit, but he won't touch a pipe.
No. I've told Keith, I said, man, if a pipe smells half as good as it tastes, I can't go with it. Because man, they smell so good, a good pipe.
I'm with you, Lance. I'm like, I see it and I like want to try it, but I just can't take on another, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Smoking five cigars a day as it is. Yeah, I just don't want to go there. It's like same thing with a motorcycle. I'm not getting on a motorcycle because I know I'm going to love it. And then there's going to be a whole nother thing. And it's too dangerous to ride down here, but
You
Well,
say right down here.
You're a
Where-
pilot, so you're used to runways, and that's what most of Florida is a runway.
yeah,
Oh.
people drive like that for sure. Terrible.
Where is home of Grouchy Monkey?
North Miami, Florida. We're right here, across from Miami Beach, and great weather. I think we have an average of 70% humidity all the time. So it's very favorable for cigars. And we also are, Miami is home to most of the big cigar companies. I know Tampa gets a lot of publicity, but there's so much here in Miami. Distribution offices and stuff, Perdomo and Padron and all the big companies. And then a ton of small boutique cigar companies in Calle Ocho and throughout Miami, which is a blast. If you're a cigar lover and you've been to Ybor City, you definitely want to put Calle Ocho on your visit list because it's like cigar heaven there, and you can get great Cuban food. Can't beat it.
Oh, I love food. You got me on that.
Sorry, I end up switching me. There we go.
That's all right.
I want to bring up your Funky Monkey here.
Yeah, I think half the, more than half the fun of this business is the artistic, the scientific aspect of tobacco and cultivation and processing and everything like that. But the artwork that you get to do is really what I find to be very fun. Creating different blends and then creating the artwork and everything that goes along. What do you want to bring to the market? And at first it was kind of challenging because I'm like, how's this monkey going to go over? But we built a good reputation for having great cigars and good service and everything and doing it right. So that's our logo, that's our brand, and I love it.
So
I was actually looking to see if you were going to have a storefront that looked like this.
Isn't that great? That was created for my website. So
who designed? Are you the designer or are you the pen
no, I had
paper?
no,
He's the visionary.
I had, I knew what I was looking for, and I outsourced, and Nico San Pedro from Farmhouse Blends, where I started, built my website for me, and did a lot of help with that. And again, it really needs some tweaking. I'm looking to try and categorize our cigars because as we've grown, we've added more products, which I put on myself, but I'd like to have better categorization, a little tweaking on the website so it's a little bit easier to navigate. But, we are growing, and, I don't have several employees to work with. So, things take time.
Oh, yes. So how long do you age your cigars?
Well, they're aged a year before they'll ever get to a minimum of like a year before they ever get to the consumer. And now inventory that I have is sitting. So I basically put a date on like the cigar boxes of when I receive them. So I can keep up to what the age is from that point on. And same thing with, all the cigars I have stocked for singles and, stuff like that.
So would you say as soon as I get a box of cigars from you, they're ready to go?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good idea for you to rest it in your humidor. The longer, the better. But they are ready to go. And, nobody's complaining about it, flavor or taste or burn or anything at this point. So, it is theoretically ready to smoke. You take one out, smoke it, and put the the rest of the box in the humidor, let it sit. I'm a guy who's like, save it for an occasion. Today's an occasion. Tomorrow is not promised. So,
Well, it's like what I have on one of my shirt designs. I only smoke cigars on days that end in Y, and today's one of those days.
That's right.
Indeed, it is. I like that. So,
Yeah, I'm guilty. I'll buy a box of cigars or a 5-pack or a 10-pack, whatever. And as soon as I get out of the mailbox, I have to try one. I just have to. But I'll put the rest of them away, but I can't help it.
that makes sense to me, though. Yeah, it makes sense to me. I have stuff in my personal humidor in my house, which was up here. And I mean, it's been in there for 7 years, and I think cigars that were pretty average are even better now. Like I bought a box of Padillas, which I didn't think much of when I bought it, but having taken one out, a couple of weeks back and smoked it, it's much better, than it was when I bought it, for sure. So something about aged tobacco is really nice.
Asking when you're going to have the 5-packs back in stock for the shipwreck.
They are. If it's not updated on the website, I'll have it done after the podcast. We have plenty.
There you go. You got it straight from the monkey's mouth.
Yep, stole a lot of them. If it doesn't say in stock, you can go ahead and order, and it should go through. It is in stock. I'll get that fixed. I have plenty of them. They've been banded and boxed and ready to go. So,
how you doing, Jared? Thanks for coming into our stream.
And interestingly enough, for those people who are interested in maybe starting a brand one day or whatever, in the beginning, I ordered cedar boxes, and you have to buy them in quantity to get them. To get them I should rephrase that, at a affordable price. But then, everything in this business is about learning. I have a mentor, and my mentor is a retired Navy and airline pilot. And he's guided me the whole way through and said, you're not going to know everything. You're going to learn things as you go. Well, what I found out was not necessarily people wanting to buy a box of 10 or 20, especially until they know they love the cigar. So I had all these boxes, and now I'm selling a lot of boxes too. But that's when I realized to design, smaller quantity boxes. 5-packs are great. It's not a huge commitment. You get 5 cigars. If you love it, you still have enough to smoke before you want to restock. If you don't, it's not the worst thing. You can give them away, share them with other people if it's not your flavor profile, which I don't think we've had that problem because everybody's loving them. So,
absolutely. And variety.
I know the shipwreck monkey is definitely taking off. And as I had said to you earlier today, I'm going to be looking to buy a box or so.
Yeah.
Enough to
mine is going good. It really is a great cigar, and the artwork on this. So I gave my fiance Layla. It's basically, we call it her baby, because I said you can do all the colors and design and decide what you want, and it'll be your baby. So I never hear the end of it that it's her baby. So
well, thank her. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Randy, as you said, if it's showing out of stock on the site, go ahead and order anyway. It'll be updated.
Yeah, and if not, it won't take long for me after. I'll update it on our website. Yeah, and it's a fantastic cigar. It really is, and the construction is what people are commenting about. And I actually did a straight cut, real gentle. I didn't want to go too deep, and when I cut it, I actually got through oscuro, and then after I realized there was habano under it, so I had to cut the habano off it too. It was pretty cool. So I got to see the two different wrappers when I cut the cigar to smoke. Yeah, he does a great job with
You didn't do
construction.
the dime.
What's that?
I said you shaved it. You didn't cut the dime.
Yeah, I should for sure.
Mine here, I trying to figure out which direction I'm going. Mine's done with a guillotine as well, and as you can see, that's perfect shave. I love the way that this is constructed because I don't have it unraveling in my mouth. I'm not getting extra bits of tobacco popping up in my mouth. It's a good draw. It's a good line. I mean, look at the mascara line. I just tapped it, but that's because I don't want to get ashes all through my keyboard.
For those who are new to cigars, the importance of doing the cut could make or break your smoke for you. So it has a cap on the end of the cigar on the top. And the way you cut it is really important that you don't cut too much of it off, because that cap keeps the wrapper from unraveling. And that also, like Keith was just saying, keeps the tobacco from breaking apart and winding up in your mouth. So some people like V cuts, which I do quite often, more out of laziness because it's built into a lot of the lighters. But the best for me personally is a good straight cut. And it's important. You showed on your cigar that you still see some of the roundness of the wrapper around that.
Yeah. You still got a good shoulder all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know when I'm driving, which I do a lot of in my line of work, I grab my V cutter. That way I can do it while I'm driving. It's a no-brainer.
See, same principle. It's the laziness of the cigar smoking, quick cut, it's going to draw good and you're fine. And sometimes the V cut, if the tobacco might be rolled a little too tight, sometimes it may just save that by taking out some of the tobacco. But, that's just a preference thing. And you as a cigar smoker, new or old, you can choose whatever you like, whatever your preference is.
I always bounce back and forth just to get a little bit of variety. I mean, even on a lot of my box presses, I'll actually go ahead and do a punch. So this way I kind of channel the smoke. But I like to get that full throttle flavor. So I've been using a guillotine a lot more. And as you can see here on the screen, Randy said the shipwreck and the Maduro are his fades, but the shipwreck is absolute fire. And
I agree with Randy 100%.
Jerry said, agreed, construction is top shelf.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
So is there anything new on the market coming out for you?
Yeah, so we shortly will be, there's going to be a bunch of new stuff coming out, and it's probably, being self-funded, I'm really OCD about ADHD, whatever you like to say, about having everything done right and not releasing something until it's ready. And what's coming next is basically it's called the Kokomono, and it's a great cigar made with real cocoa in it. So it's our first step into the world of a flavored cigar, but it's not actually infused. It's made, there's real cocoa in it, and it's delightful. Keith has tried it. So, it's a similar blend that Keith's tried to what Miguel does. Miguel has, one of his companies has the cocoa cigar, and it's a little like that, but ours is a little different. We did a little different blend. Ours is also going to be in a different vitola. It's going to be, I think we did 56 by 50 on that, just to get a little bit smaller ring gauge on it. So that's going to be really interesting.
You want me to go ahead and show the box?
Yeah, you can. We have the boxes already out for delivery, and the vans are on their way, and the cigars are being made in Esteli. Yeah, it's going to be it's a really good cigar. It's flavored, but it's not. Again, we're not doing anything gimmick. We want to make good cigars. There's nothing just to, I don't want to make things just to sell mass quantities because it's something that I can sell mass quantities of. We really are dedicated to making great cigars. So yeah, there's the Kokomono, and there's a little tobacco fields and a little cocoa in the middle. Yeah, I gotta love Chat GPT.
Well, I'll tell you what, I definitely like the cigar. I'm already 4 or 5 deep and only got the box on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's your morning one, right, Keith?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe
I've actually had to fight the chill because those candy bars were calling my name.
What do you think of the cigar, Keith? I mean, the flavor, the one that he produced.
Oh, to me, almost everything I've ever tried from Miguel has just been top notch.
Yeah.
So, it fits my lifestyle, fits my palate, and like I said before, I like a good, I would say, snug resistance, not tight, snug resistance. It slows down your draw, which means you're not going to end up hotboxing your cigar and getting a bitter taste. I have not found that with any of your cigars. Well, no, I can't say that. The Shipwreck Monkey, I was puffing on that sucker like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
It had just great flavor to it. It was really standing out. I kept picking up on like I don't know, almost like a raisin and an orange zest to it as well. And unfortunately, those flavors just were the right mix, and I was drawing it enough to hotbox it. Started to get a little bitter. I slowed my cadence. The next thing you know, it was right back to a perfect flavor in that cigar.
Yeah. I smoke a little fast, and it's funny. I rely on everybody else to give me flavor profiles. As far as I'm a guy who can't, break down. I kind of admire. I'm jealous of a lot of people like Sean Turner, our lead ambassador. He can break down flavors and tell you, I taste cocoa and I taste a little bit of raisin and so on. And I just don't have the ability myself. I know when I light cigars, several different things that I like about it or dislike. I could maybe catch some flavor out of it, but I can't really break down. Maybe that's a chore for me to go out and work on, like a tastings and stuff like that and learn the different flavors.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this distinguished ape, I definitely can taste some sweetness in it. I'm not sure where it comes from. And it's a creamy cigar too.
Mm-hmm.
So, is the sweetness coming from the wrapper?
It's probably some from the wrapper and some from filler as well.
Okay, I do not get that grassy taste like you said earlier. I'm not getting any grassiness.
Yeah,
to me, I was getting a tea type flavor from the Candela.
Yeah,
almost a grassy, a little bit of grassiness, but it was more like a tea flavor.
I can see that. I can see that.
Do you feel like it's a very super mild cigar, Lance? Because I haven't heard that.
If I had to rate this between like a mild, medium, and a bold, this would be hitting for me right at the medium.
Medium.
Dead nuts, medium.
That's what it was designed for, to be a medium.
Yeah.
So
I do not find it mild. I'm not a mild cigar smoker. Not even in the morning. I mean, the Connecticut's that I do choose in the morning do have a little kick to them. As
does ours. I've had people tell me about the retro hail on our Connecticut, and I actually had a guy with another cigar podcast. Great people tell me that it was probably the best Connecticut he's ever had. He loved it. He absolutely loved it. I do. I brag on my Connecticut because it is just fire. I
have not tried your Connecticut yet, but I will first thing in the morning because I do have it on my rotation for tomorrow.
Okay. Can't wait to hear because it's really, again, well constructed, great burn and flavor profile. I don't find it strong, you know what I mean? But I've had some feedback from people that it does have some bite in the retrohale. Someone retrohaled early in the cigar, and he's like, "Oh wow, yeah," you know.
That's what I like.
Okay, I'm anxious to hear. I'm going to be looking forward to a text from you tomorrow.
If you end up
Absolutely.
making a pepper bomb, that is what Lance is into. He
Ooh,
likes where it's almost pepper sprayed.
Okay. Well,
And,
I'm looking forward to that.
Jer said, "Yeah, I'm with you, Hyman. I can't differentiate flavors at all, just the various depths of smoke and richness. I've learned I'm tasting earthy in some cigars."
Yeah, I'm with you, Jared. Is it Jared? Yeah.
Jerry. Or
Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm 100% with him. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? Some people can break down flavors and they're good at it, and that's great. So it's good because I can rely on other people, like Sean and other people who've done some reviews, which are great, giving me feedback to see what they're tasting. So,
Well, people get surprised with Connecticut's. They look at the shades of the wrapper and they think, Connecticut's lighter, it must be a lighter cigar. Habano's a little bit darker, it must be more of a medium cigar. Maduro's darker, it must be a really strong cigar.
right.
It's the opposite. I actually pick up more pepper on a Connecticut and a Habano than I do on a Maduro. On the Maduro, I get more sweetness out of it.
Right. Well, that's actually correct because the Maduro is supposed to be a sweeter wrapper, which is weird because when I smoke Maduros, I don't pick up sweetness. It has a distinct different flavor to me than Habano and Connecticut, but it doesn't come across as like, oh, that's sweetness that I feel, which is bizarre. And maybe my taste buds are a little skewed or whatever, but that's why generally Maduro is not usually my preference because I find like a lot of bigger companies, when you make a Maduro or when they make a Maduro, should I say, it winds up being an overly powerful cigar, and it's not. The idea of Maduro is not to be overpowering. The idea of Maduro is the flavor of the leaf. So
Some people like to really pat that Lajero in there and give you a full throttle punch to the throat and palate. But
yeah,
I like the ones where I can pick up different flavors. Now, like I had mentioned earlier, this morning I woke up with a sinus infection, so my palate is not where it should be, and I'm not getting the full taste on the cigar. But it's been a while since I smoked this one last, the Maduro. I'm getting definitely an espresso, a little bit of a cedar, almost like a cocoa flavor to it. Nothing like your cocoa blend that you have coming out, but definitely a light sweetness and more of an earthiness.
And not a full cigar, not by any means a full cigar.
I would say to me, in my palate, this is a medium. It's probably more of a medium plus, but in my palate range, this is a medium.
Right, and that's what it was designed to be. So,
well, you mentioned earlier, Hyman, that as time goes on, your tastes change, your taste buds change. When I first started off, I was a big Maduro fan. That's all I wanted to smoke, and I love them to this day. Don't get me wrong, but I found myself in the last year and a half sliding over to the Habano. I don't know if it's the pepper on the retro or what it is exactly, but I tend to smoke more Habanos.
Right.
So I can tell that my tastes have changed a little bit.
Right, and I think most people will experience that too as you try different cigars and different brands, and and again, there's sometimes I smoke a Maduro and love it. And that's La Galera is a good example. Dominican brand that grows their own tobacco and everything, does all in one stop shop kind of thing, I guess. What do you call it? But smoked a Maduro the other day. It was fabulous. Again, it was designed designed for flavor, not for necessarily strength. It was not a strong cigar by any means. Now, I tried a Padermo, like a 10th anniversary Maduro once, and I was seeing stars, And again, maybe I didn't have, the right sugar levels and hydrated and everything too, but I found that to be extremely strong.
Well, when I do smoke a cigar that I've never tried before, I do keep my go-to is a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I'll keep one.
Sugar burst.
Yes, because that does help with that buzz feeling or that you may get. So I always keep one beside me just in case I start getting that little buzz.
Right. And if people don't, I don't personally drink. I'm allergic to alcohol personally. I break out in handcuffs when I drink. So, so
Lance understands that.
yeah, I basically pair with coffee and different, pops good, ginger ale, Coca-Cola, which I don't drink all the time, soda. It's not, but it actually can be a decent pairing with certain cigars. The acidity can either match or not match.
Right. I am really enjoying this Candela.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, I think this is the first time I've ever smoked one, and I am really shocked.
I told you, his Candela is actually probably one of the only Candelas that I really enjoyed. Like I said, it's not overly grassy. I get more of a tea flavor to it, but the wrapper's got that nice aftertaste. It leaves a nice sweetness on the tongue. If I remember correctly, when I smoked it, it was smoother, it was creamier, good flavor profile all the way through.
Absolutely.
And I think that I tried several of other brands Candela prior to that, and I smoked one of the biggest brands out there, their Candela, and after smoking it, I was like, this is what I don't want. It's very grassy, overly or just completely mild, and that's what I didn't want. So let's make a really good cigar. I think and I'm just guessing, maybe the bigger companies sometimes just want to get something to the market, so they're not putting all their best master blenders into saying, let's go create an amazing Candela. So we may have hit a little sweet spot there in really making a Candela that's actually a great cigar.
Well, I recommend, if you have never tried one or you're not a fan of one, try this Grouchy Monkey. This is, like I said, this is the
Distinguished Ape.
Distinguished Ape.
Yeah, show the band on it. It's super cool.
Well, I had to take the Distinguished Ape off because I'm already down to this part.
But that part. Yeah, it's the monkey's like the James Bond with his tuxedo, and he's very distinguished. That's the fun stuff. If I'm not gonna have fun, why should I do it?
Absolutely.
I'm a pilot. I make my living, flying airplanes, and this is where my passion is. Though I love to retire from aviation and get this. The goal for me is to, that's why the business is not for today or tomorrow or next week. It's for 5 to 10 years from now, so that when I eventually do retire from flying, hopefully sooner than later, I could be full time in the cigar business. So, that's the goal. And that passion that I had for aviation when I was younger, I've already reached the point where I'm been everywhere, super experienced, the top of my career, experienced captain. And now that passion, like I had when I was younger for aviation, is now about cigars and tobacco. And the tobacco to me is so interesting. If you can go on YouTube and get so much education. There's so many great documentaries out there explaining the cigar industry, and every factory does things differently. So you could give this like 3 different factories the exact same leaves to process to make a cigar, and you're going to get 3 different cigars because of the way they do their fermentation, processing, rolling, everything. Just to me, that's amazing, so yeah.
Well, look, your man making these cigars for you is he's got the hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
whatever you call it, man. But he's got the point.
So Miguel goes
something about your quality of the cigar too. One of the things I had mentioned to you last year when I first met you and tried your cigars was a lot of the legacy cigars, even a lot of the boutique cigars that I come across. What's the one big issue I have as a pet peeve? They glue the wrapper or glue the band onto the wrapper. I pulled that band off, and as you can see, there is not a single tug. There's the wrapper. Look at it's clean inside.
Yes.
It can be challenging, Keith, because I use different band manufacturers, and like the shipwreck sticks, the band sticks a little, and the distinguished shape sticks a little bit more because the glue that I use, like on the Jungle Land, I have to use a different glue. It just doesn't hold on there. So that's just one of those things. And it's a little more glue than I would like, a little more resistance to take the band off in the distinguished ape and the shipwreck. But, you know, it's not horrible. It's not like you're going to rip the cigar apart, because the factory makes sure the bands are put on properly and the glue is the right amount of glue, so it's not destroying the wrapper.
But it also shows the care and quality put into the packaging. Like I said, when I received your cigars, they all lined up perfectly. The bands were all the same height. They were all facing out perfectly. There's a lot of boutiques I don't see that coming from, and there's still some legacy brands I don't see that coming from.
Yeah, it's funny. I in the beginning, it was doing everything myself. What can I do myself to get the brand going and get the business going with the cigars? And I'm doing the banding myself. Still, I do a lot of banding myself. And my fiance, Layla, said, "Can I help you? Can I help you band?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. Don't touch anything." Because I'm a very meticulous person. Everything has to line up perfectly. It needs to be put in the box a certain way to ship, even to ship to people. Everything, there's a certain way that we want things done. And she's just not that meticulous with stuff like that. She's the messy one. You know, I'm the very neat and organized one. So, you know, and it's a good thing, because people have commented on receiving their orders and what our box looks like when they get it, because I think it's more than, this is an experience thing. It's not just about the cigars to me. I put in stickers and challenge coins and swag things. And again, I want to build the brand to success. And I want the customers, when they get their order and they open their box, that they're just wowed. You know what I mean? And then, so they're already wowed, and then they go to smoke the cigars and love them. To me, that's the best win-win experience. And they help out by posting online, which is great for us. And other people see it and say, well, you know, it's a great cigar. I should try it. And, you know, it's, for instance, I ordered boxes for shipping now that have the grouchy monkey all over them. And again, I don't have to do that. That's more of a cost, but I would rather do that, because again, I'm trying to build a brand, and not only build a brand, but I want it to be elevated. I want everything to be first class. And regardless of the fact that it's a $10 cigar, you're going to get the experience of receiving the $38 cigar, you know? So that's just how I'm trying to do things, you know?
Well, not only is it a great cigar, but you got to have a good presentation.
Mm-hmm.
The meticulous you put into this is second to none, I have to say. I love it. The bands and the monkeys on there are phenomenal. I just love it all. And the meticulous that you put into it. Somebody just said, Jerry just said, I hear that OCD Hyman.
Yeah. You know, that's the fun part. I want to go forward. And that's always talk going back to, do I want to focus on being in, you know, every lounge in the country, or do I want to stay small and boutique and yet keep cigars at the right price, not have to, I don't ever want to lose that, you know, being meticulous about the way the presentation is, and just become a factory that pumps numbers out. It's just never been the goal. I don't need to do that. So I'm more focused on really keeping quality and staying meticulous with everything.
Well, it definitely shows. And keeping the prices in the price range of the average Joe out there is also what will drive things positively for you.
Yeah. And we want that. It should be a $10 cigar, somewhere in that range. You know what I mean? I have an issue with a cigar being $28, $32. I mean, if you smoke regularly, that can get very, very expensive. So, and the reason that they start getting that high is because as companies grow and become a big company, now they need to pay all these different people, and they need to keep the reps, and they need, it just sounds like a big headache. And I know other cigar brand owners that are very successful, and they have to hire people just to stay on top of their reps. You know what I mean? So it's kind of taking a little bit of the fun out of the business. I'd like to keep it so it's always fun.
And that way you can always have your hands on. You have control.
Yeah, and it's not the being crazy about having control factor. It's about what the customers are receiving, to make sure that they're getting the wow factor all the way around.
Well, guys, whoever joined in late, we're here with Hyman, the owner of Grouchy Monkey Cigars, and he's enlightened us on all his cigars and what's up and coming. Man, I have to say, Hyman, I'm very impressed.
Thank you. So maybe some people have some questions. Let's hear from some of the viewers. What do they think? What do they like to know? Anyone have any questions?
Let's see. Jared,
no.
You're neat and tidy. Because he calls it your OCD.
Yeah.
But you got to have a certain amount of that anyway to make sure the quality and the packaging and presentation is out there.
Right.
And actually, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Last year when I got some of your cigars, I got obviously the Candela Distinguished Ape, and I also got the Habano Distinguished Ape. Do you still offer it in Habano?
Yeah, I do have it. I kind of stepped away from it, and kind of, it's a great blend. It's probably the strongest cigar that we may have. I'll take a look at that tomorrow and probably put it back up. And that was in the development stage, Keith. So, but I actually have all the banding, the boxes, and stuff like that. My brain is going faster than my abilities. So I wake up at 5 a.m. sometimes, and I'm sitting out on my patio and, with ideas, and here comes the next thing. And, and it's a lot, and always constantly thinking about what we could do next. And at a certain point, I have to maintain the proper scaling, not scale too fast that I lose control of quality or customer service. So yeah, I'll take a look at that.
Lance will buy you out of that Habano.
When he said it's one of his bolder ones, yes.
Yeah,
I have to look into that.
Yeah, I can get you some, and it's got a pigtail. It's actually a nice cigar. It's got good construction. I think it's like a 6 or 6.5. I completely forgot. I haven't dealt with it. It's not even on the website. It's the only distinguished ape is the in the Candela.
Right.
So
and the
it's
Candela
almost
is
like a
definitely a
stub
great flavor. I just remember enjoying the Habano. As a matter of fact, out of all the ones I got, I think I actually still have one Habano left. Yeah, I think I've got one Habano still sitting in the humidor. I've been every morning I get up and it's a struggle. I've got about 500 different cigars to choose from. Which one am I going to do?
Not a bad problem to have.
Grouchy monkeys.
Not a bad problem to have.
So Hyman, Jared asked, why should we buy Grouchy Monkey cigars? Why should we?
Okay, so several reasons. The quality is one. The customer service is two. And to validate that, just look on social media and see what people are saying. So it's different. And it's, if you go into a lounge, you're going to spend $14, $16, $18. We have plenty of options at the $10 range that legitimately could be an $18 cigar, an $18, $20 cigar. And I've been told that several times. Miguel told me once, with bringing out the Shipwreck, I said, this is easily like a $20 cigar. And he said, well, do you want to sell 30 of them or do you want to sell, 3,000 of them? And I said, I want to sell 3,000 of them. And that's, and that mindset stuck with me. And I'm actually not just doing that for the shipwreck, but moving forward, keeping the price right and, scale. And I just believe that I can build this brand without relying on the traditional, having to be out in every lounge. I think people go into a lounge anyways, and they're like, I have a Padermo in mind. I don't know if people are, most of the time, me personally, I just love to see what's there, something I haven't tried, but I don't know. Maybe my mindset's wrong that people are looking for a certain thing. But again, I want to keep a boutique. I want to keep it small, not small, but I'd like to have good volume of people smoking Grouchy Monkeys out there, and we will, but not at the cost of my sanity.
So Jared must have came in late, and you already touched on this, and he wanted to know the name. Why that name? Where did that name come from? Do you mind telling that story?
No, I don't mind saying it again. So my fiance and I, for 9 years, have had a rescue dog, and she's like 40-pound black dog. And we used to just call her Monkey Butt, and she had a bitchy resting face. So we basically came up with the Grouchy Monkey that way. And, it was good. And my younger brother had Grouchy Dog as one of his companies for his real estate. And I loved that. So that's the beginning of the monkey.
So is the dog's full name like Grouchy Monkey Butt?
No, her name was actually Piper, but yeah. So yeah. So that's how it began. It's no and also to do Jared to do something different. You know what I mean? That not mainline. I'm different anyways, so it should be appropriate that it's not going to be Casa de la Zega, you know what I mean, type of thing. It's different, and it's definitely not forgettable, which is great. Especially after you smoke the cigars, then it becomes really not forgettable.
Yeah, you got a good cigar blend when you're more or less getting free advertisement. Mm-hmm. Every time I go online, I'm seeing somebody else posting something, Grouchy Monkey, and a lot lately of the shipwreck.
Which is great. And it's the greatest compliment because you have to understand something. It is very personal. I mean, this is our there you go. It's our passion. It's our hard work because, while most people are watching movies and going out and, doing that, I'm working on the business. So, and I choose to do that. And it is a passion. It's what I want to be doing. So it is taken personally. Every time someone posts our cigar and positive things that they're loving it is the greatest compliment that you could ever ask. So are we successful? Absolutely.
But Jared also said, he has a friend named Ray who can be your model because he has a big old full beard, and he did a caricature through ChatGPT of him smoking a Grouchy Monkey, and oh my God, it was hilarious. He looked just like he could be a
I remember that.
He could be the guy. That's funny. And it's, I think it's great because I think all of us can relate to it. You know what I mean? I think all of us can see ourselves as a Grouchy Monkey when we're just really, really grouchy, that's it right there. Let's go this way,
I can get like that without my morning coffee and my Grouchy Monkey cigar. I can get
there we go. Love it.
Well, guys, we're coming up on that time now. I wanted to make sure that our audience knows that they can reach you at GrouchyMonkeyCigars.com. Is that
correct?
Your cigars are not in brick and mortars. They're available online. If they have any questions about it, they can find it in CigarPop Nation as well as on Grouchy Monkey Cigar Group. There's plenty of people who talk about it, the flavors, done reviews, things of that sort. And we want to thank you for being our guest tonight.
No,
Yeah,
thank you
anything
for
else?
having me. Thank you for anyone who tuned in. We're very grateful. And thank you, Lance. Thank you, Keith. Always a pleasure and great
Pleasure's
to
all
have
mine,
new
man.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah,
Keith
you
and
gotta
I
let me
got
know
to sit
next.
down and have a cigar. You know, it was great. And Barry, I got to meet with Barry Liebman recently and have a cigar. And this is just so cool because you guys are in other places, but yet we will be sitting down and having a cigar at some point, you know, which I've done
Yeah.
with Keith.
If you ever make your way down to Louisiana, we'll definitely do that for sure.
I love it. I like the South myself. So
Come on
I
down.
just do.
Come on down to
Well,
Louisiana crawfish.
Oh,
you
yes,
got the better
sir.
weather.
I like
You know,
some
I hate
etouffee.
having the tundra out on my front steps.
No, thank
But
you. I'll go to Louisiana. Thank you.
you saw how cold it was when you were up here,
Yeah,
and that was
terrible
only
and
just a
wet.
few weeks ago, right?
Yep.
So, oh yeah, it was wet too.
Yep.
But it was real nice meeting you in person. Shared
My pleasure.
several cigars, lots of chats, lots of information being passed back and forth. You know, you're definitely a world of information.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
They,
thank you for being on, man. We do greatly appreciate you and
no,
enjoy your
likewise.
cigars.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, thank you very much, and we'll go ahead and switch over. Have a good night.
Have a good evening. For more pro tips and honest reviews, like, subscribe, and as always, keep them lit, guys.
Oh. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching.